Playground Experience. And I have here with my lovely co-host, April Williams, and my other lovely co-host, Kathy D. And we have our own guest here, Maisha Wynn, who has a book. She's an author and a lifestyle coach as well. She is called Live to Win. There it is, right there. That's what I'm saying. The winning way. There you go. I have my own autograph book too as well. And she also has What's on the Menu Chef too, which is an Instagram and live that she has where she goes around. And she also has who is that? Is that me?
Sorry.
I hear my voice. I have the voice. It's very distinct. Which she also has her show in which she talks about and promotes being a vegan as well. So we're going to go right on into it because we got our host here and she's got a wealth of information that is helpful for us to be able to have that divine living that we're looking for as being twin flames or being soulmates, or you just want to have a divine lover, or you just want to have that lifestyle that's really holistic, or being in union with self. So, with me, I came up with this where I get guests from people who are not in what we call the so-called twin flame journey, because I want you to understand that you have to have a balance. And I always say this, you got to have a balance as far as what's happening in the 3D world, which is the physical world, but also in the spiritual world too as well. And you got to have a merging of the two. That's where you got the divine feminine energies and the divine masculine energies. Divine feminine energies is more so about what's going on within self, and the divine masculine energies is what's going on in the world, our alphaness, our leadership, how we go out and get it. And we, where you say, well, I won't say fried up in the pan, but you go out and get it and you make it your own out in the world. And so I'm going to start off and ask Maisha to kind of give, because we read a little about her. I know her too, about her bio, about how she took her journey from, because we know from Twin Flame journey, there's a shift that goes on within you, that you start off going a path one way. And then something happens in our life to steer us to awaken to the true essence of who we are as a being here on earth. So I'm going to let Maisha tell us tell a little bit about her journey of how she was. She started off in the corporate, and spirit kind of talked to her and led her into other things that made her turn around and then say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it the winning way. I'm going to do it on Maisha's terms. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Maisha so she can explain her journey, so you can see your connections of how maybe you see yourself in Maisha as well.
Well, Bertina, I want to thank you for having me this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy D, as well as April. I want to wish your viewers, or better yet, your winners, a happy, fruitful, fantastic Friday. As Bertina mentioned, I am a lifestyle specialist, vegan enthusiast, and inspirational author at Live to Win, where we inspire, ignite, and initiate change in others. I gave birth to Live to Win at my lowest point in life. I am the only child. My beloved mother made her transition due to cancer at a much too early age on New Year's Eve, 8 years ago. And it was at that time that the shift happened in my life. To lose someone that was your biggest supporter, your biggest cheerleader, your best friend, and to see this beautiful being 1 minute where she's able to talk and walk and move and laugh, and then the next minute her not being able to talk, move, or do anything like that, it was there that I said, wow, Maisha, you can end up down the same road, or you can decide to make that change and shift in your lifestyle. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. We have peaks and valleys in life, and I have learned that in our darkest moments is where we find our greatest light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I battled with depression for close to a year after losing my mother. I mean, all I could do was eat and sleep. And I gained about 30 pounds in 6 months from the lack of activity and just not really caring about life or myself. And so my cousin, Stacy, she was taking a trip to Dubai for business. And she said, well, Maisha, I'm going to Dubai. Would you like to go with me? And I thought, well, I'm not doing anything. I should be working. Big shout out to my company at the time. They allowed me to grieve and they were still paying me. And I said, sure. She said, all you have to do is purchase your ticket and I'll take care of everything else. So I bought a ticket, ladies, and I got on the plane, and it was the most transformational experience ever. Now, I have had the pleasure to travel and live all around the world, from Cuba to Japan. But this experience was transformative because in the Middle East, they make time to pray 5 times a day. 5 times a day. We were on our way to Abu Dhabi, and our driver said, it's almost noon. I said, okay, what does it have to do with us and getting to our destination? He said, well, I have to pull over and pray. So he pulled over at a gas station and he prayed. And there is a mosque at the gas station, at the grocery stores, at the malls, everywhere. And I thought, wow. It was at that moment that I thought, it is time for me to get back in touch with prayer and spirituality. So I came back renewed, rejuvenated, and I started walking outside because, the sun is a natural healer, vitamin D, it actually helps with your mental well-being. And it was at that point that I said, you know what, Maisha, this is not the way you should be living your life. This is not the legacy that God created for you. And I made that shift. And so our word for the day is love, because I believe in the power of mantras. And so today's word is love, right? It's a verb, right? In 1 Corinthians, it says that love is patient, love is kind, but also love of yourself, love of others, how you allow others to treat you. But most importantly, how are you treating yourself? Wake up in the morning. How do you begin your day? Are you connecting first to social media or what's on the news? Or are you taking a step back to say, I want to give thanks. I want to give gratitude for being able to see a new day. I want to give thanks to having a place to lay my head at. I want to give thanks for running water. I want to give thanks for lights. I want to give thanks for my ears, for being able to hear, and my eyes to be able to see, and my legs to be able to walk, and my mouth, my taste buds, things that oftentimes people take for granted. Because what I have learned is that the universe receives whatever we put out. So if you're putting out the wrong type of energy, that's what you're going to get in return, baby. And I have been saying that this is my year, and it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And how do I know? Because what the universe is bringing me, and what I'm able to receive and partake of.
Yes, and we also, I know myself when I do the videos and my readings, I always say again, in your heart, it is the frequency you put out there is the frequency that people pick up, just like a radio station. So whatever you're doing out there, you're sending out that signal, that's what they're hearing. So that is very important for you to be able to have that. I say set your day off with intentions. All at all times, so that it's not only like a reminder of sending out frequency, but then it also checks you too as well. It's like, okay, now what did I say my intentions was for today? My intentions is to be, X, Y, and Z, or I'm on to be at peace, or I'm on to attract peace to me. So that is something that is very, we got to do things intentionally instead of haphazardly for things to happen to us. And so we've got to reprogram ourselves, because I think a lot of times, even on this journey, we'll put it that way, any journey that it is, we are more so reactive instead of being proactive, already in the stance, ready for things to, for happening. That okay, now I'll shift when this happens, then now I'll get into gear about what I need to do. But if you always have been going out there with that intentionality, then you already are geared up, prayed up, or also giving out that also gratitude as well. That's very important. So I heard you saying about the thing. So some of us on this journey, we're in jobs. I want you to tell about that day where you were in the job, something shift again. It seems like that's our key word is shift. Shift within again and say, you know what? I don't think this is resonating with my vibration or the energy right now. I think what happened to cause you to come out of that and then say, you know what? Because a lot of us, like I say, on this journey are thinking about getting out of our so-called 9-to-5 jobs. We want to take that leap to go ahead and follow our heart's path. So what led you? Can you kind of walk us through that moment?
Well, I got laid off. I got laid off the day before Thanksgiving. And it was the best gift ever because I had already visualized and I had already been creating power boards. For me, it's not a visualization board, but it's a power board, right? It's what I'm giving power to. And so I had been creating these power boards and it was saying keywords, my face was in the middle because you got to be able to see yourself. And I had words like change and inspire. And I had these steps, right? And so it was like God's way of saying, hey, now you have been manifesting this, but clearly you're not taking that step. So when they laid me off, it was like, okay, well, I could either continue because they did come back 2 months later because they got funding and they said, man, you were our top earner because I was in advertising sales. They said, we'd love to have you back. I said, well, I'm good. I'm just going to step out here and make it happen. Now, I'm not telling everybody to do that, because I've depleted all of my 401k, I've depleted all of my savings. But I have learned that we have to make sacrifices. We have to make sacrifices. And then we have to not always lean on our own understanding. And I have never been late on my mortgage or my assessments. My lights have never been turned off. I've always had food. But it's also because I am a go-getter. I'm a go-getter. I don't sit back and I don't wait for things to happen for me. I make things happen for myself. So for those who desire, like, man, I want to kind of playing with, I want to be my own boss. I want to be a visionary. I want to be a creator. Well, there's 24 hours in a day. Now, I'm not telling you to you could just go ahead and leap and make it happen. But if you don't feel like you are comfortable in doing that, but I also want to say that fear and success can never operate in the two veins. You cannot live in fear and be successful.
Right.
You're going to live in fear or you're going to live in success. And so for me, it's about living in the form of success. And so I am a believer that faith without works is dead. And if you have the faith, then you also need to be willing to put in the work. So if you're working a 9 to 5, then what are you doing after that 9 to 5? Are you watching reality shows? Like, what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your eyes? What are you feeding your ears? People who are truly successful, they read, they're YouTubing, they're watching shows like this to further cultivate their mind, which is our greatest asset, better known as our universe. What are you feeding your universe? What are you writing? Seeing is believing. Do you have a journal where you're keeping certain notes? Are you connecting with people? We are living in a world where we are social distancing, but LinkedIn is powerful. Are you reading press releases? Are you connecting with people who are of like minds, right? Because Jim Rohn says you can tell a lot about yourself based upon the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who are you giving your time with? Are you giving your time with people who are celebrating you, supporting you, nurturing you, challenging you, championing you? Or are you hanging around people who are depleting you? Who are saying, oh, you ain't gonna never be able to do this, or you can do that. Can is not a part of my vocabulary. Try. When people say try, that just irks me. Why? Because try is a barrier word. You're either doing it or you're not doing it.
Thank you.
At the same time, when people wish me luck, don't wish me luck. I'm destined for greatness. Now you could say, Maisha, I want you to go in there tomorrow and be the winner that you were destined to be. But don't wish me luck, because I don't believe in luck. That's chance. I don't live my life by chance. Have I always been like this? Yeah, I've always been like this. Always been talkative, always been a go-getter. It has a lot to do with the way I was raised. See, my mother, right? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She always told me, Maisha, you are destined for greatness. You are beautiful. You're a leader. You're not a follower. But I know a lot of women, a lot of people, they weren't surrounded by love.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Back to that word, love and action. So it's time to make that shift. It's time to make that shift. And so this is where it begins.
Woo!
So,
Who's
right.
motivated? Who's ready to go on a Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you glad you tuned in right now? Yes, you are. I know you
Yeah.
are. Like and subscribe. Hello, people. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, the passion. It's beautiful, the fire. And, um, you know, coming from a household where my mother really was, she, by the way she was raised, she wasn't allowed to love herself, right?
Mm,
So she might have said these things like, I love you, you're beautiful, I believe in you. But then she didn't show me these things. She
mm,
didn't see her beauty. She didn't fully believe in herself because of her life experiences. And it took a while for me when I sat back and I said, how do I think? Why do I think the way I think? Why do I do what I do? And it is really those relationships, those primary relationships that people show you, and you are showing others how to stand up for themselves, how to be in this present moment. And it takes a lot of acceptance and forgiveness, especially when you're moving
mm.
out of that state from fear into success. When I was studying, they say that the same part of the brain that causes that level of anxiety or that fear is the same place that shows excitement. And
Mm-hmm.
so, even though we're doing better and we're finally reaching on that vibration that we projected, because sometimes you start off and you are talking. Have you ever guys watched What the Bleep Do You Know and all that stuff? You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just got to start it. You got to say it. You got to
That's
bring it
right.
into manifestation, into reality. So you may not be fully in that vibration in your subconscious, but you are training yourself to get there.
That's
And so
right.
when you
Mm-hmm.
do get there, you get to have that patience because the things that come up, it could actually be excitement. It's not actually that fear of failure. It's excitement for the something that you don't know because you've never held it before. You've held the fear so many times that you think it's fear, or you think I have to slow down, I have to stop, but you get to push through. And that's
Mhm.
where the community comes in. That's where the honest self-reflection comes in.
That's right. Yeah, we are a reflection, of the relationships that we've been around and we've experienced, and it's great that you were able to take a situation where you, as you mentioned, you really, your mom said it, but you didn't really see it, but you still were able to seek and find love in order for you to be the best April.
Well, actually, I was raised by my grandmother, and my nickname is Love. So
Oh,
so I was constantly programmed in your love, right? Now
beautiful.
it's a matter of love learning boundaries. Right? Love not taking shit. Excuse-moi, but this is the adult show, right?
Yeah.
Because that also is a part of love. Self-love,
Yes.
self-care,
Yeah.
understanding our own value, our own
Mhm.
worth. What is respect to us may not be respect to somebody else.
That's
Not
right.
everyone was trained or raised. Some people were just set out and let go. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. And we can tell by their actions.
Mm-hmm. And the way people react is not an effect on you, but it's effect on their upbringing.
Hmm.
And so we just have to, that's where we have to get those boundaries and learn, what we get offended at and what we don't. And, it's one of those where sometimes, living in South Carolina for, a good portion of my life, bless their heart, God love their soul. Cause, there's just, you can't take so much of it personal. I loved what you said, Maisha, about, losing your mom and your greatest cheerleader and still doing these things. I know I lost my mom 19 years ago, the beginning of this week. And that is, as an only child too, that is a extremely hard thing. And to be able to pick yourself up through that and not have that support system that has always been there, is a really hard thing to do. But once you do, the gratification is just unbelievable. And the self-love, that comes out of it is amazing. So I applaud you, because that is a really, really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Many people just give up and stop. I mean, I've seen it with older people that do it. And I was 28 when I lost my mom. And so, she was extremely young. And to keep going through that and, living life is, with that cheerleader still in your mind, at least, it is difficult when others just choose to give up sometimes.
Well, I want to, my goal at the end of the day, Kathy, and blessings to you, is to show women, most importantly, that, if I can do it, you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I have everything inside of me that was given to you when you were brought into this world. But
Mm-hmm.
the question is, have you tapped into it?
Yeah. And that's a lot of it. We've seen it with different people we've all worked with and different clients. It goes back to that self-love. Do you love what's in you? Do you love, you've got to love the good with the bad,
Yeah,
or what you consider bad.
right.
You've got to love all of you, because, when you were brought into this world, I know in my case, I know there are some, extenuating circumstances, but I know there's not a mother that's going to be like, well, I love all 9 of those toes, but that one big toe, it's a little odd, so I don't love that one. I mean, you were loved. That whole thing, I love the right ear, but not the left ear.
Right.
But all of you was love, and we have to carry that on with ourselves. We have to, because if we don't love us, then we can't project that out to the world to allow either others to love us, or to allow our success in, and allow the blessings, the storehouse of blessings God has waiting for us. We
Mhm.
don't tap into that because we don't feel we're worthy. And that.
I think one thing, we're living in a world now where we're so connected to social media, and oftentimes many like to compare themselves to what they see on social media.
Mhm.
It's not reality. It's not reality at all. It's a facade. And so
Mhm.
one way to really practice self-love is to stop comparing yourself to
True.
someone that you see on social media or a celebrity, right? It's about taking a step back to say, wow, what are some of my skills and talents? What makes me unique?
Mhm.
Really self-reflecting and taking a step back. Because at the end of the day, we were not created the same. We were not created the same. So it's about embracing your uniqueness
Mhm.
and your skills and your talent versus saying, wow, I wish I could be like such and such, and I wish I could be like such and such, not really knowing that that same person you're admiring or you want to be like, they're battling with their own set of issues.
Mhm.
Right. True. True.
One thing I
Yeah, the
found,
only person we should compete with is ourselves, to be better than we were the day before.
Amen.
one, one thing I found is this is the full moon, right? This is the Libra full moon. We're switching into balance, right? More balance. And we're cutting out, we've been cutting out for I don't know how long. We always just cut something out, but we're also bringing in, right? So bringing in the new perspective, right? So you see something, it brings up an emotion that typically is a negative emotion, right? It could be jealousy, it could be insecurity, you could find, looking at the self-worth thing. And then you get to flip that, right? Because that person is just being them and you're seeing the light in them. And it's like, wow, yeah, I show the light in others and people come at me like that too sometimes. I don't know what's up with that, but you know what? That's okay. And so, what inspires you? Wow. I was listening to, it was affirmations. I just love listening to affirmations too. Like sometimes people put some cool lists together and it's like you get to think new perspectives. And the person had said, another woman's values and talents does not diminish my own,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everyone has these gifts, everyone has these talents, and you get to learn from styles because there's nothing new under the sun. Really, there is nothing new under the sun, whether you heard about it or not. I mean, certain things, yes, we're doing innovative technology. Okay, I just have one of those devil advocate kind of minds where I'm on both sides of everything, thinking of everything I say. Isn't this valid? But okay, so the point is, there's nothing new under the sun. So you see someone, you enjoy them. Yeah, you can bite their style a little bit, but you get to put your own flair on it. You know what I mean? This is karaoke and you're not hearing the song, you're just singing what you can. And yeah, there's some lyrics that are coming out to keep you, singing, but allow yourself to just flow in you and allow this person's energy to come through and just say, wow, appreciate its beauty. And that which does not serve, you can just let go. Right? The same thing when you have your memories of experiences that may have been traumatizing or may have, become the reason that you don't believe in yourself or you disagree and don't want to be with men or, women or you can't get along with. Allow that stuff to kind of come through and say, hey, I observe you. I see you. But I'm not attached to you. You're not affecting me in the now. What is the now? Another opportunity for me to embrace parts of me that I haven't experienced yet, parts of me that I'm excited to share with the world. It's
True. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I want to piggyback on something Maisha said. I think also with social media, it's not only looking at celebrities, but I think it's made it a little more smaller that you do more also comparison to add on to the fishbowl of mess. Is you're also comparing people in your circle of friends or whoever comes down the news feed too as well. You find yourself doing that, and that causes more of a self-doubt to
Mm-hmm.
occur and to be birthed within you. I think also with this time and these energies that we're having now too as well, we have is the moon is Libra. Libra is also one of partnership, but then also you're still in Aries, which is self, and that's why the two things those are opposition because Libra is more so of partnerships and bringing together that balance. But then
but Aries and Venus are having this reaction right now.
Mm-hmm.
power to the
Where
Aries.
this is where you get the real love. This is the love that serves you.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Right,
love that
because
serves you the best is your love, right?
Mhm.
And only you really know how to love yourself. And if you don't, this is the perfect opportunity.
Opportunity, yeah. Well, I want to say that one of the greatest ways to love yourself is how you fuel your body.
Mm-hmm.
How you fuel your body. Our body is made up of, is that chlorophyll?
Mm. With chocolate,
Yeah, yeah,
cocoa, chlorophyll. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good one.
Chlorophyll, guys, that's the green that you see in plants, in case people are wondering what chlorophyll is. Um,
mhm.
but how you are feeding and fueling your body. I like to say that food is love, food is life, and food is healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me, I was already on this journey of taking care of my health, and then I was having these excruciating headaches so bad that it felt like there was a hammer, like somebody was beating a hammer
Mm.
on my head. And so I went to the ER and I realized that I was living with a brain aneurysm.
Oh.
And many people die from an aneurysm. Every 8 minutes there is someone's brain that is being ruptured.
Mm.
1 in 50 Americans have an aneurysm and they don't even know it. And so my physician said, based upon your family history and based upon the fact that your mom was on 15 different meds before she made her transition, with 4 of those meds being high blood pressure, you really need to look at living a plant-based lifestyle. And, I want to live. So I went cold turkey that day.
Oh, wow.
I'm not telling everybody to be plant-based, but what I am saying is that you need to be more mindful of what you are digesting, especially now in the midst of COVID and the virus. You need to reassess your health and reassess your overall well-being, because what you eat not only has a major impact on how you look, of course, and how you feel, but also your mental and your physical and your spiritual well-being. And so, how I like to start my day is usually with water. I want to refuel myself. So I do room temperature water. And it's usually 16 ounces. If I have lemons, I'll put fresh lemons, to alkaline the water, or limes to alkaline the water, or chlorophyll, or charcoal, activated charcoal, because that's good as far as the digestive system and detoxing the body, right? Which is something that I like to do every time the season changes. I like to detox my body.
That's a
And
great one.
detox, that looks like greens, fresh fruit, not cooking. And I like to do this anywhere from 7 to 10 days, and at least drinking half my body weight in water as far as this. So what have I had today? Today I have had, it's been a busy day. So today I've had mostly just water. I've had some tangerines. I've had a smoothie with kale, spinach, monk fruit, almond milk, and what else is in it? And that's it. That's what I've had all day.
Mama got herself a new toy. I got a juicer, so I've been juicing for the last couple days, and the baby loves to have fun with me juicing and making smoothies. He loves to be in the kitchen.
I love it. I love it. Juicing is life.
So for those of you that are thinking or dabbling in the vegan or vegetarian lifestyle,
right,
what would be like the best way to kind of maybe start a kid? Where would you suggest for them to start? And for that, that's even mine, because both of you all are pros. April, I've got to go this way. April and Maisha, of that lifestyle. I flex in and out of it. But what would you say would be a good suggestion for them to start?
Well, I would say, now that we're all social distancing, there's so many amazing cooking classes online. Get creative, join some cooking classes. There's so many, YouTube, so many books, experiment, get in the kitchen, once again, love. You could tell a lot about food with love, get creative with the family. If you have children, start taking your children grocery shopping with you. When you are shopping in the grocery store, shop on the outer portion of the grocery store, right? That's where all the goodness and greatness is at, and for kids who are not really interested in vegetables and fruit, you could do something like, it's the springtime, the summertime. Do a kale popsicle, buy a mold for a popsicle stick and you blend it with kale and pineapples and coconut water and mangoes and blend that up and freeze it and make it in a popsicle stick. Then that way they have all their nutrients. They have their fiber, they have their vitamin C, their vitamin K, their protein, all in a popsicle.
Does that work for adults too?
It works for adults too, Kathy. It works for adults too.
Because I got one that doesn't like vegetables, so yeah.
Yeah, and then just, there's meatless Mondays, or just slowly start doing it once a week, where you'll just have one meal that you'll switch out where it's completely plant-based. So that means no animal products and no dairy. No dairy. I have learned that dairy is the devil. It is the devil. It adds mucus to the body. If you look at your stomach after having some cheese or some whole milk, look at your stomach. You look like you're pregnant. That is nothing but toxicity in your body.
Mhm.
And so if you want to start slowly transition, and there's so many plant-based alternatives.
Oh yeah.
Coconut milk, there's almond milk, there's pea milk, PEA, which has salt, or you can make your own. Soak your nuts, your cashew nuts, that is.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
It is Freaky Friday. We should have just waited. We should have paused longer.
You know, and make your own milk. But I mean, there is just too much resource and too much knowledge out there for you to not want to, kind of dibble and dabble in it. And then
we're
somebody like me, Live to Win on Instagram or Facebook at Live to Win. And I had a conversation today with a friend, and he said, Maisha, I know you have this journey, but I think you need to take a step back where you tell people about the journey and how you made the transition and kind of lead them along this journey with you.
It took years. It took years, and it was slowly fading out and becoming less and less attracted to toxicity, right? And I like to say that I'm a practicing vegan, right? So if there's any kind of craving or a slip up, right? Because I'm not a perfect vegan yet. I'm not one of those hardcore that say they've done it for years. Right. Yeah, even sometimes we even get it done on accident, even when we're trying to be good, right?
That's
And so you fade out certain things, and there's plenty there's so much switching over to veganism, but there's tons of substitutes for all the favorites. They're not necessarily the healthiest, so that's the disclaimer on that. Like a French fry is still a French fry.
Right.
A burger is still a burger.
Oreos, your Oreos.
Oh, that's true.
Even though they're vegan.
They're vegan.
Oh man.
And you look outside like, oh.
Look at me.
A couple of Oreos and some wine. No, but there's fun. I just actually posted a video today. I finally finished it because I found the music I wanted. I made some vegan juk, juk, the rice stew, or it's like a rice porridge, but I made a nice vegan rice porridge with brown rice. I've never seen a brown rice juk before.
Nice.
But I'm blessed. I've always been really blessed and spoiled with produce. I've had a huge gardens. If not huge gardens, then I know plenty of farmers, and I've actually helped a lot of farmers. And so I am able to get a lot of local seasonal produce. And if you want to start just incorporating that, that's a really fun activity for a family to do. Go out to a farmer's market.
If you're in an area, if you're in an area that's not still kind of locked down with COVID, go to your farmer's market. Even sometimes, I know here in Florida, they kind of incorporate them along with the flea market. So it's always fun to take the kids. But when they have the big bins of beans and things like that, and let them pick them out. And then even, I know my girls, when they were younger, they picked things out by the shape and the size and the color. And sometimes they would kind of, stretch my cooking abilities on what is that? I got to do what with it? But they love to try all the different fruits and stuff. So take it, what's the worst that can happen? You might have to throw it out. Nobody's going to die from it. You're just, it might not be a family favorite, and you'll know next time. But yeah, farmers markets, definitely a shout out, and especially to the small farmers. Right now, we really need to be supporting these small farmers, these vegan the all organic farming.
Yes.
I know, out in Hawaii and stuff, they're doing a lot of it. We're doing a lot here in Florida with using flowers, nasturtiums and sunflowers and things like that to kind of take the bugs away from the fields with all of the vegetables and stuff in them as natural pesticides and things. Those people are the ones that we need to be supporting. The families that are living on those farms and having a lot of those pick your own kind of things. Go support those people.
So to be,
give them.
I'm going to be a little blunt, but you guys need to watch out now because they've been putting pesticides and all kinds of really gnarly things on our food products for so long. The majority of us are clouded and having digestive issues because we have these toxins in our system that need to be flushed out. I actually joined a company, Purium. If you guys are interested in that, I can help you with that. But it's a really easy way to get started. But their main thing is they have a product called Biomedic, and this product helps you rid your body of Roundup and any glyphosate. And it pulls it out in this is the TMI moment, but it pulls it out in the stool, right? Which is important to me as a breastfeeding mother because I'm not trying to saturate my child with toxins. Like everybody didn't talk about this, but like Cheerios, every single box of Cheerios has some Roundup. And I
Mm,
guarantee a majority of us have been fed Cheerios a majority of like our lives. We were talking
Mm-hmm.
about it before the show started. What was in school, only subsidized foods, which were dairies and meat products,
Right.
which are some of the biggest killers now, right? And it's like a cascading effect. So if we choose these little steps every day where we're going to incorporate a vegetable or incorporate more smoothies or just take out a little bit of our meats or our even processed foods, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going to change how our system works. We're going to be able to embody a lot of people, especially women in the twin flame community, do not want to be in body. They want to deny their body. They want to shame their body. They want to say, I'm not worthy like this. No, you're worthy just as you are. Now it's time to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Let's hold the card up again. Love.
Love it.
Love. Your
Hello.
gut is your first brain. If your gut is clouded, your brain cannot even process. So even though you may be getting all of these messages and all, God may be speaking to you, you can be hearing it off in a triggered way simply because you have something inside of you that needs to be cleaned out.
Mhm.
and even now, we're talking about the good and the bad and the ugly that COVID can bring out. I would say one of the benefits to COVID, or the silver lining of it all, is that you now stores are now offering more plant-based stuff. Like they actually have like dedicated stuff, and it's a variety. Before it was an excuse like, oh, I might want to try to be a vegan or a vegetarian, but I can't because there's no products out there. Like I like hamburger. What's there to substitute? What I'm gonna do? And now it's like, really, to tell you the truth, there's not really an excuse, because even myself, when I do, I call it flexitarian, when I flex on and flex off. And when I do those things, they got meat. The Beyond Meat tastes like, to me, like meat, because I've even got my mom kind of hooked on to that. Things that you can do, and they got real creative cookbooks, because I'm a foodie. So I try to look for ways in which I can be able to find things that are like foods that I like, or if I can't substitute it, yeah. Do I get off the wagon? Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I really want that taste. I'm not used to this. So, but there's a lot of things and products that's out there. I mean, you'd be amazed. I mean, I was amazed. I don't have to talk to you. You all are converted, but I'm preaching to the choir.
Well,
But
those products, you still want to be mindful with those products,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because their target market isn't really the vegan market. It is for those who are still carnivores or flexitarians, such as yourself.
mm-hmm,
So you want to be mindful of still processed foods that are high in cholesterol and high in salt intake, things of that nature. So it's good that we do have those alternatives, but at the end of the day, if we really want to be extremely cognizant and mindful of what we are fueling our universe and our temples with, we want to make sure that it's from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
That is from the earth.
Mimi makes a great point. Her comment she just put up, I don't know if you can pull it up. She talks about she was told to watch out for plant-based products in the stores, ask about what plant actually is and where it comes from. And that goes with our produce too. We have to be mindful
right,
of produce that comes out of other countries as well, because they
mm,
don't have a lot of the strict regulations on pesticides and things like that we do. So when you think you're doing right, if you're getting it from some of these countries, be mindful about, and that Mimi, you made a great point, because some of this stuff is, still highly pasteurized and stuff. And we need to, I'll tell you, one of the best burgers I've ever had, and there's absolutely no meat, doesn't look like meat or anything, is black beans.
I
To
knew
use
you were going
black
to say
beans
that.
in that, just amazing texture and flavor, and it has that hardiness. Or mushrooms,
Right.
and,
I've had.
sautéing them, those kind of things, just amazing.
I'm
It's a
hungry,
lot of
y'all.
it
You
is you have
can't
to
be.
get over the look of what you're eating. Trying
What?
to get my kids to eat a mushroom burger was not the easiest in the world, but
Well, my son, it just it kind of depends. Like the new generations, we can strict this from the record, right? Because they pick up their versions through you, not her in particular. I'm not trying to call her out or anything, but they pick up their versions through you.
oh
And
yeah.
when you expose them, like my son's favorite snacks are broccoli and carrots.
Wonderful.
Pretty
Hmm.
traditional, but they still are promoting them on the shows, and he's never had candy before.
Oh, that's
So
a
they
lesson. How
had
old is he?
can't,
Two.
but they had candies on the show. Hmm. They had candy on the show, so he said the word candy, and I was like, no, why? Because all of it, it's all processed in one way or
Hmm.
another. And to be honest with you, I can't say that I fully trust the regulation of our own when they say that they're actually caring what goes in these foods, because for a long time they're willing to let it go for the dollars underneath
Mm-hmm.
to fund their programming. And then the health issues overall that a majority of us are having, especially when we're looking at what GMO foods, most of us have been exposed
Hmm.
to it for a long time. They fought to put it even on the labels that
Mm-hmm.
they were doing this. So just being aware, and you actually vote with your dollar. What you buy is important, and supporting the local farmers that you can look in the eye and ask them
Right.
about their farming practices. That's the best. Local CSAs, which is community supported agriculture. You can put that in your Google or whatever, and then it will show you what's around you to see what you can get in terms of support of that. And there's a lot of food deserts. So even with the food deserts, they have, especially if you're in like the mainland United States, they have different companies that you can buy into that will ship you products like new types of flours so you can get away from gluten if you want to try that out. Um,
Hmm.
there's all kinds of opportunities out there. I also suggest growing. Even if you're in an apartment, you can grow, hydroponically, because I'm also part of all these companies because I love farming and agriculture and all that, right? I'm really into food sustainability and people being able to just grow their own lettuce. You're going to be able to have so much more nutrients in that lettuce because it wasn't picked early. It was picked just by you. You gave it its nutrients, and it wasn't you didn't put any extra chemicals or pesticides and stuff like that on it. And so there's little towers that you can grow in your house where they give you just cleaner than organic fertilizer, right? That you can just add to your water and grow your own fresh vegetables and herbs and stuff. I mean, it's very possible to take your health back, take your life back.
So, April, what are you growing at home right now?
Right now, nothing edible, just pretty things.
Okay. That's
but I'm
edible.
but we're switching over because we're actually going to make our own hydroponic towers.
Oh, beautiful.
So we'll be growing lettuces and herbs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Simple like romaine and
I love romaine and spinach and kale.
mhm.
So
Collard is my favorite.
who
Collard
collards?
greens, yeah.
Do you ever do collard sandwiches?
Oh yeah, like as the wrap, I'll do a
Yeah,
raw
that's
food
right.
taco where the meat
Okay.
I soak walnuts and then you let
Nothing.
those drain. The reason you soak a nut or a bean is because there are enzymes in them that prevent them from growing until the conditions are right. When
Hmm.
those are actually kind of noxious to the body, a little bit toxin to the body. So when you do that, actually, I made a small video, but I haven't finished editing it. You actually don't get that scum that comes on the top when you boil the beans. You don't get any of that type of growth, or there's none of that protein. They all leave the system. Anyway, we'll go with the taco. So walnuts, soaked, drained. Then I chop in a little bit of fresh apple around the same size. And then I like to put in some sun-dried tomatoes and olive. And then the taco seasoning, like all the herbs for that.
Ooh.
And
Sounds
just put it in my little thing. And then I like to make like a nice vegan cheese sauce. The classic one for me is the potato, or here they have breadfruit, so I can use ulu,
Use
carrot.
nutritional yeast at all?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I like the flavor of it, but it's not
I'm not a
necessarily.
big fan of nutritional yeast. And if you guys want, nutritional yeast is what a lot of vegans use as a cheese replacement.
Yeah. I was scared. I was like, is it healthy? Because now you're like, you got to check that out.
It's relative to how much yeast is already in your body, right? So like
Right.
if you eat a lot of pasta and stuff like that, you might probably already have, and you like crave sugars and things like that, you might already have too much candida in the system.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
would want to like not introduce more while you cleanse that out of you for a bit. But there's a balance that can be had.
Oh, okay.
I think there's balance for everything. I mean, there's
That's
people who don't even really eat.
And there are people who actually overconsume. And we live in a world where we overconsume, especially in the United States. That's one thing I learned while living in Japan is that, you know, they're very active culture and community. You know, I lived in the city, Numazu, which is an hour away from Tokyo by Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. And you see people, women, men, 60, 70, 80 years old, riding their chalinko, their bicycle. And I'm like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too. I mean, there's a local mountain there called Mount Kanuki, you know, people walking. I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? If people are 60, 70, 80 years old, they're eating, you know, they're mindful of their portion controls, the bento box. You know, I'll never forget when I first got there, I would eat the bento box. And I'm like, I'm still hungry. You know, McDonald's is over there. So I would go to McDonald's. Thank God I've gotten over that. Go to McDonald's and eat that, you know, but it's all about shifting and reconditioning our minds and ultimately our bodies.
Especially when you're going through something heavy.
The size of
that?
Right, that's true. What you're supposed to consume is the size of your fist. That's what I've heard too. Not more than that. I think a 12-inch sub at Subway.
Right. Overconsumption.
You're supposed to be defecating like more than once a day. Like once a day is good, but more than once a day is like, you know, every time you eat,
you're supposed to. Yeah.
So what are some, as we close out and get it ready to close, what would be some takeaways that I know from you of to have a winning life that you?
So the first would be to be mindful of how you start your day, because how you start your day has a major impact over your entire day. So you want to make sure that you take a moment to really focus on self. And I know oftentimes it might be challenging when you have family members and loved ones. So I would say wake up a little bit earlier, whether that's 10 minutes or 5 minutes, taking care of self. Your mantra is different from your affirmation because your mantra is connected to your spiritual well-being. So create a mantra and place it somewhere where you can see it often. For me, I like to put them on my glass in my bathroom. So as I'm washing my face or brushing my teeth or just doing my hair or my makeup, I am able to take a look at these words because seeing is believing and believing is achieving. And one thing we didn't talk about was your breath work. We take close to 24,000 breaths a day. Are you your breath? If not, start connecting with that, being mindful of how you and releasing. When you find yourself in a moment of anxiousness or overwhelmed, just take a moment. You know, it could be as easy as sitting on the throne and just breathing through your mouth and out through, in through your nose and out through your mouth, through your nose and out through your mouth. Just that simple. And practicing your words as you do that, and then being mindful of your temple. What are you feeding and fueling your temple? Once again, food is love, food is life, and food is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Start replacing with things with that gives your plate more color.
Mm-hmm.
So spinach, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, mangoes, pineapples, yellow zucchini, green zucchini, yellow squash. I mean, the list goes on and on. You know, people say, well, steak has all this protein. Well, too much protein can actually be damaging to your kidneys.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's not an easily accessible protein, people. You do not get all the protein that was the meat of the animal.
Right.
Right.
But actually, protein, you get more protein in broccoli than you do in steak. Broccoli. And I love broccoli.
I'm like looking at my child like, that's why he's so huge.
Yes, yes. And ladies, make, you know, we talked about love, self-love, and self-love is also connected to self-care. You know, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm just not going to be able to do that today. I'm not going to be able to do it today. You know, I have a standing appointment with myself in my calendar. That's Maisha Wynn's time. I have a meeting with me.
Mm-hmm.
To tell
I like
you
that.
who I have a meeting with, but I have a meeting at that time. So we have to do it another time. So it's okay to say no to others in order to say yes to YOU. Because at the end of the day, how can you be good to others unless you are great to yourself first?
That's it.
Yes, yes, yes.
And for all of those winning tips that I shared, it's in our book, which is a book journal, The Winning Way, a guide to creating success your way. Mind your thoughts. What do you hang on the walls of your mind? That's by Zora Neale Hurston.
Mm-hmm.
I hang positivity, I hang peace, determination, love, joy, abundance, wellness, resilience, faith. Why? Because I've learned that the greatest gift bestowed upon me is my mind, which I call my universe. The focal point of all things begins and ends with the power you possess in your mind, guys. Your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we always have an activity. So the activity is honoring your gifts. Identify your positive characteristics. Make a list of your assets, including your talents, experiences, skills, and anything else that you feel makes you great. Because you are great. You were born with everything that you have inside of you. But the question is, have you tapped into your greatness? This weekend, you need to sit. You need to self-reflect, take a step back, and really figure out what brings me joy, what brings me happiness, what are my skills, what are my talents, and manifest it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What other great things we do our community? So I'll let you kick it off. What great things can we catch you on and get our daily? Because I know you do a daily fix of you too as well. That you can be
I do.
Motivation and thing. So I won't take it away because I know of the daily, the great things that you do. So I'll let you be the one, the PR person for yourself to say, what are some other things that we can catch you on as well to get our fix?
Well, you know, you can catch me on Live to Win on our Facebook and our Instagram at LIVETOWYNN. Live to Win on Facebook, Instagram. We're also, you know, we have a website. That's where you get our book. And this time next year, I have my own TV show. Right now, I'm talking to networks. We need to see more women who look like me in that space, who are authentic, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And I'm all about promoting how to live more abundant, how to live more abundant, how you think, how you move, how you eat, how you live, and how you interact with others. And so we're having conversations right now. This week, I had 2 major meetings with 2 major TV networks that you watch. I know you watch them. Did I know these people beforehand? Absolutely not. But I don't live in fear, baby. It's as easy as getting online and say, how do I find this person? Emailing them. And then I have a body of work. I've been on Rachel Ray. I've been on Fox DC, Fox Chicago, Fox Houston. I've been on KTLA. I've been on WGN, ABC. I mean, so at the end of the day, I'm saying all this to say that I just didn't wake up and say I wanted to be on TV. I have been putting in the work. And when you put in the work and you believe in yourself and you manifest it with your mind and what you write and what you speak, and surrounding yourself with people who celebrate and support and champion you, like Bertina, who's been in my corner, who's seen my rise and my elevation, then that's when change starts to happen and manifest, and you'll begin to see that shift in the atmosphere.
Yes, yes, yes. She's always talking about her tribe. And I thank you that I've been honored to be one of the people of her tribe.
That's right.
All that what. So any other for the ladies for the community board as we wrap up? Are we doing anything else for you all besides our event? But what are you, anybody else doing? Kathy D? Aren't you doing the podcast? I thought you was every Thursday.
Oh, yeah, the podcast, and that'll start April 1st.
Okay, that's next week, right? That's next week, right? Okay, well, we got to talk about it.
That's
it'll be from 1 to 1:30. It's on Business News Network.
Right. So. Okay. Let's not shy. You want some supporters. The more people that's on there that's calling in, the more you stay on there, right?
That's right.
And more advertisers.
Right.
And more people that call in and wanna talk to me after the 5 shows. That's where they assess the interest level and decide whether they offer a year contract or not. So
we're gonna put it in existence. Let me be the first to congratulate you on your new podcast.
Yes. April, what's up with you? What's going on?
I finally have all the components together to launch 2 products. The Ancestor, I call it the AK, the Ancestor Kit. How to knock some sense with spirit. So it helps align you with your ancestors. You're in the practice of acknowledging not only them, but yourself, as well as kind of pulling that power together, just keeping you together, right? Because there's so much out there that kind of keeps us distracted from our own power and the power of our ancestors, because we are the gift the earth gave herself, right? And we are an accumulation of all of their stories and their life put together to create us here now. So we're here to do some major changes. So that kit is up and ready. And then the protection kit, the 9 times 9 times 9 protection kit, is a nice little ritual to help put you in alignment and shade out that which has never served you. If it's from within or without, it just takes all that mystery away and puts you in the eye of that storm. Because some people are going through some real storms right now, and we want to help give them some grounding. So this is a really nice one. I mean, results all day.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I'm sorry, forgive me. You know, my people have taken off my assistant, but here's also, you want to as well, go to pineapplefishlifecoaching.com if you want to set with hypnosis as well. Hit her up before she becomes famous. She might not have time. No, but again, go to
she already don't have time for you, but she will. She will.
Okay, speaking into existence, correct me, beautiful. And then also, we have our own event that we're having too as well. Oh, I gotta take that down. Okie dokie, and bye. Thank you. Okay. It's got there you go. All right, here we go. So we got our own Ground Zero event that we're going to have on April 4th. That's 2 p.m. Central Time. Please make sure that you go and you register. I know she's always peeking around it. You must register for it at divineunisols11.co. Make sure you go there and you register for the event. It is free. It is free. But in order for you to get the link for the YouTube live, you have to go there and also register for it. And then you also have our other event. Here's the lineup of what's going to be, who's speaking. We got all these good and great things there that they display. And we have our own raffle ticket too for $5. We got a lot of great things that we are raffling off programs. If you want more details, please go. You are distracting. Who hired y'all? Where's your paycheck? No. You all will be able to go there to get a raffle ticket. You have to be, I think I said you have to be president for it. I believe that you do. And then we also have an upgrade package too of guided meditation with April Williams, transformational activity workbook, and a journaling activity. Okay, let the people free. All
Ladies,
right.
I have enjoyed you so. I have to go celebrate my prodigious week that I've had.
Yes.
So I want to thank you so much for your time, your energy, your light. And I will see you very soon. And please, let's stay connected. And blessings
Yes.
to each and every one of you. And Bertina, thank you so much for having me a part
Thank
of
you.
this
Thank
amazing
you so very much.
circle.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you so very much.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Okay, as we sign off, she kicked it off. So now our own Kathy D, you can do it. We're circling down this way. Kathy D, you can get us on out of here.
Well, get all the virtual sand out of your shoes and socks. Make sure you clean up around the virtual sandbox, clean up all your virtual juice boxes, and wishing you always the best life ever. See you real soon.
All right, and April Williams.
Stay blessed, stay golden, and remember, you were made for this golden life.
Yeah. And also stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Mwah. All right, then go and register over there at divineunisoulslove.co and make sure that you click like, share, and subscribe. See you next time, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Thank you, everybody that's over in the Sunshine Lounge. Y'all rocked. Very good. Thank you. Mwah. I'll give you your paychecks will be in the mail because you know I have to pay some of y'all to show up. All right. Mwah. See you. Bye.